example. Less is more, okay? If you do any reading about writing at all, and we are all writers, you'll see that a lot. Less is more. My mom here is my toughest critic, and she tries to drum that into me. And sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't listen so well. But less is more. That's the most important thing you can remember. Anyway, Millay wrote a lot of sonnets, which brings me to rhyme. There are some schools of thought that say rhyme is dead. Well, they're wrong. That's it, they're wrong. I don't even know why there's a debate about it, because so many forms, so many classic forms of poetry call for rhyme. Sonnets have 14 lines and a very specific rhyme scheme. They're also written in iambic pentameter, which has to do with the number of feet or beats per line, but it has nothing to do with how many toes a poem has.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes a good rhyme? Well, there are books that can go into detail about that. I don't have the time or inclination to try to tell you about it, because other people can do it a lot better. But for me, a good rhyme is the right rhythm mixed with something original being said. Maybe it's something unexpected, but it's not out of place, but it can surprise you. Even June, moon, and tune can be used with originality. So I give you. One summer night I heard a tune, a clacking, whirring melody just outside the screen door. June bugs flirted in debauchery with a yellow porch-light moon. Well, no, I think that's good, but, you know, I wrote it, so. Generally, it's easy enough to rhyme if you use a simple rhyme pattern. But if you want a challenge, try writing in a rhyme scheme of a specific form. You'll know I don't have much of a life when I tell you that some of the most fun I've had recently was trying out some forms of poetry that I had not ever written before. There's the cinquain, which is C-I-N-Q-U-A-I-N, triolet, pantoum, gloss, villanelle, sonnet, and minute. Not to mention, I wrote in iambic pentameter in both blank verse and in a sonnet. Okay, the cinquain is only 5 lines long with a syllable pattern of 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, and it doesn't have to rhyme, but it is fun to try. If you haven't written poetry before, try the cinquain. This is shattered. Oh no, broke the mirror, slipped from my fingers, hit the floor. Bad luck for 7 years. Oh, ours. So that's all it is, 5 lines, 2, 4, 6, 8, 2. Okay, the villanelle has a specific rhyme pattern, which also involves a repetition of certain lines in a specific order. You are probably all familiar with the Dylan Thomas poem, Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. I did not realize until recently that that is a villanelle. And it is a lot of fun if you try to write a villanelle. Again, I'm not going to try to tell you how to write certain poems, but I'll get to that in a minute. The villanelle and the triolet, that's T-R-I-O-L-E-T. The villanelle and triolet in particular, I think, seem to dance around themselves because they repeat certain lines in a specific pattern. And the minute form has a specific rhyme scheme and syllable count, 60 to be exact, and it's called a minute because it's expected it will take a minute to read. Here's an example of a triolet that I wrote. It's entered in the National Federation of State Poetry Societies contest, so don't listen, Marilyn, in case you're judging any of this stuff, okay? Okay, this is a triolet, and again, triolet is fun to write. It's very easy to write because it has like an A-B rhyme scheme, which is just 2 different rhymes you have to come up with. This is called His Tail Wags. It's about my dog. He sees me from across the room. Dark eyes brighten. He grins a toothy smile. My presence vanquishes his gloom. He sees me from across the room, and his entire world's in bloom. Completely without guile, he sees me from across the room. Dark eyes brighten. He grins a toothy smile. So you see, it's a very simple rhyme pattern, and it's easy because you do repeat certain lines over and over again, but it is still a lot of fun to write. It's still a challenge.